All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Anas Ayoub. I'm the founder and digital construction director at XT House. Today, I'm going to speak about the next generation construction, unlocking the power of data-driven design. I'm very happy to take part of the BIM Coordinator Summit and the virtual stage. XT House is an award-winning digital construction consultancy. We specialize in algorithmic design and automation. Last year, we've been recognized as the Middle East Digital Construction Innovator of the Year. We've been awarded with that award alongside leading firms in the construction industry. That's a combination of design and workflows automation, customized plugins, platforms interoperability, and real-time reporting. So we're geographically located in both Dubai and London offices. We're also located virtually on LinkedIn through that QR code if you'd like to check more about us. We have projects literally all over the world. These are red dots of cities that host our projects that we've worked on. And if we link them together, and let's say that we imagine taking a trip all over these cities through a plane, it's going to take us like 36.5 hours of flight. Quite interesting. So I'll talk about three different subjects during my presentation. I'll start by talking about the project construction management, the FMA, and I'll end it by talking about master planning and landscape architecture. So starting with project and construction management, covering both the construction stage and project control, 4D, 5D. In a world that is filled with very bespoke number of data. We've been trying to push the construction industry to collect more data, generate more data. Right now, one of the biggest bottlenecks in our industry is around how can we make a good use of this data. For example, on the construction stage of a project, we will have big number of stakeholders. For some of these big projects that we've been exploring and working on, and to have an automated auditing and data dynamic workflow is essential. Stakeholders need to sit on the table and talk about coordination and making the use of the latest references. And without an automated digital tool, it might take a serious amount of time to get things right after multiple errors here and there. So we believe in automating that part of the data through the use of the coordination softwares and the data analytics softwares. And we hope to see more of these adoptions happening around the industry. To talk now more about the project management as well through the project control, we'd like to highlight a bit of our favorite recent tools in the 4D and the 5D simulation. 4D, Smart 4D is a new feature that we have been identified in Bixel Manager. Both Bixel Manager, Synchro, and other softwares are leading softwares in this space. And the reason why it's very important because it does give you data about cost beyond the 4D, and it gives you a detailed budget tracking linked to your 3D models. BIM at the end of the day is all about having a smart data, graphical and non-graphical. But if we're talking about the 3D, these 3D models needs to be smart. And to be smart, they need to be contained with data that can allow you to take decisions over the project life cycle, whether it's design, construction, or operation. Now, if I can talk a little bit about the digital construction specifically for DFMA and software customization. As we can see, the industry is being again directed towards more data analytics, more use of data, and the current softwares that we use as the authoring tools are not really supported with all the tools or workflows that you might want to have, and that's why it was optimized in a way where uh, firms can start having their own workflows and all plugins and solutions. And at XT House, we're glad to say that we are having environments around the likes of Revit, Civil 3D, and AutoCAD, where we create our own softwares and plugins to generate certain automation workflow. For example, on one of the recent solutions that we created is called XT House Builder, which is a building envelope design automation specifically for the construction stage that can have a multi-layer system, coordinate all the layers, make them data-driven again, to be in line with our title of this presentation. These data are supporting the fabrication manufacturing team. So that's why we focus here on the DFMA, which is an approach that a number of leading firms around the world are trying to adopt. DFMA stands for Design, Fabrication, Manufacturing, and Assembly, which is basically about having a single source of truth for your data. Again, DFMA can give you not just the time part of it, but we also focus on the sustainability part of it, which is to save materials, avoid abortive work on site, and on a project, a leading project we've done, our team worked on, resulted a saving of plus $5 million just because we know how to optimize the raw material for the CNC cut machines for the metal panels being installed on some parts of the building. Yeah, DFMA can be driven at an early stage of design, and we'd like to take more more time into spreading more awareness about DFMA amongst our clients and peers in the construction. It could start in an early design approach because it does tell you about the design optimization and the sequence of construction. It does have a focus also on the 45D, which we spoke about early on. So you kind of have a more controlled environment of production through all stages. But most importantly as well is the health and safety, which can be also translated into your project approach. On projects like high rise, for example, the likes of the one that is being presented right now on the screen. And this is a project in Australia, in specifically in Melbourne. It's called Melbourne Quarter Tower. The health and safety have been translated, logistics have been translated into these simulations, and DFMA is literally about the whole industry is about DFMA. We maybe have a cool term right now called DFMA, but everything we do around this industry is literally from design to construction is literally around that stage of terms. I'd like to cover the third part right now of my presentation, which is to cover the master planning and landscape architecture with a twist of data and automation again. City planners, master planners, urban designers nowadays are being demanded to deliver more. Cities are being looked at differently from the past. Now cities are being demanded to provide quality of life for the residents of their citizens and residents. You can optimize multiple KPIs during your design process as you go through the socio economic built environment fabric that you are trying to build on project scales. Things like solar analysis, sun path analysis, wind analysis, shadows. These are like the basic currency that architects have always been using since the beginning of time, before we called architects when we started having these caves and spaces that used to host us. And in the landscape architecture space also, we've invested in the data-driven approach to provide data-driven automation that can solve design automation streams. So that included the creation of what we call XD House Landscape plugin. It's currently being used internally with the team to deliver some of the projects that we work on with our clients. But the sky is the limit. We will keep improving our plugin, and before you know it, it will become public as well. But again, here's not just about branding, what the cool stuff what we're doing, but also to put some inspiration for digital solutions and automation that is data driven to bring this extra value that we're always looking for. After generating all these data, we need to make a good use of it, and we'd like to think that we are taking the lead in the industry to showcase that. I'm proud to say that behind me in XT House, we have a really good, talented team that is supporting me through both offices in Dubai and London, and we're growing. So hopefully we keep attracting these talents. Just wanted to keep them to be part of my presentation because they're part of the success that we wanted to highlight and the knowledge that we have in here. So we're one message away. Please reach out to us. This is the QR code to our LinkedIn page on LinkedIn. Please show us some support and follow us, and would love to hear from you. Thank you for listening to my presentation today, and thank you, BIM Coordinator Summit, for having me on this platform.